Hey everyone, it's your host Ayanda, and this is actually Let's Talk About It, episode 2. Thank you so much for tuning in to the previous episode, the debut episode. I am honestly overwhelmed by the support and also the hype around the episode. Thank you so much for those who have tuned in for the first time. Welcome. And to the old ones who've been there from the beginning, hi, we're back at it again, but full throttle. And today's topic is going to be very much a controversial one. Okay, what inspired the topic is a meme. And I don't know, I basically thrive off of memes. If you're a Gen Z, you understand how memes trigger certain conversations and certain topics. And in the context of Women's History Month, if those who don't know, March is the month of women's history, and we're celebrating women from all over the world. There are a lot of discussions about how women have impacted society, their role, etc. But that's not what we're really going to engage with today too much. Today's topic is based off of a meme that says, quote, I'll put the meme up on the screen, but it says, quote, why are women so why are women so secretive about who they're dating? And the response to that question was because loving a man is a humiliation ritual. So let's talk about it. What do you mean loving a man is a humiliation ritual? Like, what do you mean by that? There's just so many nuances and so many perspectives to consider. And as a woman, I will speak on experiences I've had and what I've observed as well in terms of how women are treated when they are in love or when they love a man. Um, Usually when I feel like usually women are forced to be answerable or are quote unquote responsible according to society for how a man behaves. For example, if he cheats, it's on you, and then if you leave the relationship, you're told, okay, you're bitter, or you can't keep a man if you're the one who is initiating a divorce or a separation. There's a lot of scrutiny on women choosing themselves. And um, divorce rates, actually, according to research, we can see that a lot of people are filing for divorce. And worldwide, there is a 50% chance of people actually following through, like forever, ever, as in doing life with a partner without initiation of divorce, which is a bit crazy, don't you think, as compared to our previous generation. And then another thing is that in Zimbabwe, also, last year's survey has just indicated that a lot of divorce rates have increased over the past year, and it's mostly women initiating the divorce rates. So, what is really the problem? Who is the problem here? Is it the women doing too much or it's the men doing too much? So, I don't know, but let's delve in it and talk about it more. Um, I feel like there's been a patriarchal system that we have been brought up in. Most of us have been brought up in a very male centered system. And what I mean by male centered system, I mean that women have experienced a lot of oppression over a large amount, like a long time, over a long period of centuries. Pre colonialism, the matriarch was the main way of doing things, but the West influenced patriarchy, hence why we have this uneven or unequal power dynamic between men and women. Um, I believe that women are becoming more autonomous in terms of the decisions that they make, the access to resources, the access to choice, freedom of choice, and empowerment, education, etc., thanks to the feminist movement, has made a lot of women wake up. A lot of women have stopped dating for the sake of security, like, oh, I'm looking for someone to take care of me, because now the opportunity to excel and to thrive independent from a man has been made available in some countries, not all countries. But in some countries, a lot of women are becoming more progressive, especially when it comes to their autonomy and what they want for themselves, independent from the influence of men. And I think that's also why the separation or divorce rates has kind of like skyrocketed over the years, because women are no longer eager or prioritizing marriage from a place of insecurity and from a place of escapism, but mostly from a place of like, am I aligned with this person? Is this person good for me? Are they making me happy? And are they able to help me reach the point of self actualization I want to reach or I want to establish for myself? That's the perspective that women are dating from. And I'm talking about the modern women, the women that are progressive, or the women that are not pick me's, are basically dating in that way. And now the question is, why are people secretive then about their partners? Why are people so, what can I say? In Shona vanoti vari kudyana na musaga, like kudya munhu musaga. Why? Sorry. Why is it that like so common that people are very secretive, right? I believe, in my opinion, men are inherently like out there to men are inherently selfish. Let me say that. And I'm not saying it from a negative space, but what I mean is that men look out for their best interests more than anything. And I think because of this whole conversation about monogamy, promiscuity, are men inherently monogamous or inherently promiscuous or polygamous, or there's just so many debates of it. Hence, a lot of women are hesitating to or hesitant to post their partner or their man online because of the fact that some, not most, not all, don't come for me, but some men are polygamous and they just choose not to disclose their polygamy to their partner. Hence, when women post, their partner, there's the humiliation of that DM text that you get. Oh, hey, girly, are you dating this guy? I'm coming to you as a woman. He was with me last night, or, we've been dating for the past couple of years. And a lot of women are finding these things out during monumental periods of their lives. So they find out these stories of, promiscuity when they're pregnant. For example, Chloe and Tristan. Y'all remember that story when Tristan cheated on Khloe Kardashian while she was pregnant, and the humiliation of that like, oh, even while I was carrying your baby for 9 months, you decided to go out there and step out of the marriage. There's that. And then there's the Cardi B incident with Steflon Diggs, where he basically pulled up at the Super Bowl with his other baby mamas besides Cardi B. And it's like the humiliation. And I think that's why people have just opted to be more secretive about it, because the humiliation of like, oh my gosh, this person is probably trifling out there in the streets while I am holding it down and being loyal to them. And I feel like society has made it very hard for women to love out loud and to love openly, because it's like the scrutiny, like I said, where you are the one who catches strays because you're a woman, not necessarily because you're the man. The man can be scot free and be like, oh yeah, this is how men behave. We know men are not monogamous. We know men do the most. How could you trust a man? It's always extreme scrutiny on women and extreme like embarrassment for women, and the men really get smoke when things escalate. It's usually like the woman's fault. And I think like part of the reason why society still behaves that way is because we still very much live in a patriarchal system where, you know, men are still trying to control how women behave. Men are still implementing policies on women's bodies, you know, women's rights. There's a lot of femicide that's still going on in society because of internalized misogyny from men. And I think the expectation of women constantly having to have everything put together and constantly having to be a good model of society has just also made it unfair, or I feel like we've made it, you know, yeah, unfair actually, that women are supposed to be answerable to a man's behavior, which doesn't make sense. I feel like the way your partner behaves has absolutely nothing to do with you, but then for some reason, women are the ones that still have to be answerable to the way their partner behaves. And I'm sure you've seen it even in traditional settings that women will do anything and everything to protect their partner from outside scrutiny, especially if the partner is doing controversial things or is deeply problematic. A lot of women will do their best to protect their partner because of image, because like I said, of societal standards. Oh, you couldn't keep a man, oh my god, you were trifling, it's your fault that he left, or you seem like you're the problem, or you're bitter. The cycle is just extremely in, insane and insidious, you know. And I don't know whether men have realized that a lot of women are waking up. Um, there's been a study lately, I forgot where I read it, but a lot of Gen Z people are opting to be single and child free. And most of the Gen Zs that have made this decision are extremely happy with doing life on their own, especially women. Haven't you asked yourself, how is it that like the single women are usually, they end up being powerful women or women in high positions, you know, millionaires, billionaires, they manage to establish businesses and everything. And, you know, married women are the ones that end up, you know, following, pursuing their partner's dreams and being at the house and taking care of the kids, etc. And I think that women are, single women rather, that are living their best lives have seen how society is still actively oppressing women even in the home. And I think that people need to also understand the sacrifices that women actually make in terms of, let's say, being a mother or being a wife, the sacrifices that come with the responsibilities that they have to give up, the careers that they have to let go of, the dreams that they have to let go of to accommodate their partner and also to accommodate their kids and to prioritize their kids. It's not an easy thing to do. A lot of women experience chronic illnesses after giving birth, and a lot of women literally end up being at the back seat of life because their lives are consumed by their husband, kids, and the community that they're trying to formulate around the family setup. And I just hate it for us that we do not get a lot of credit. And I think that despite the female sacrifice that women constantly make to just merely exist, the reward of it all comes with the humiliation of a man switching up on you. That's just what it is. That, like, despite the sacrifice or despite you putting a backseat in your career, in your dreams, there's still that risk or that, like, possibility that this man will leave you at the desert, in the desert without water. Like, he will leave you to suffer. And I guess that's why that statement, because loving a man is a humiliation ritual, is like coming in, where it's like all of a sudden a switch up might happen and it's something that you least expect. We remember that, like, TikTok video that went viral of this CEO and his HR subordinate. They were at a Coldplay. Was it a Coldplay concert? And they literally appeared arm in arm, on the Jumbotron. And that's how the wife found out that her husband was having an affair with his work colleague. And she shortly filed for divorce afterwards. But she, after doing some research, she's a mom as well, and she has her own career as well. And her husband went viral for, having an affair with a colleague. And it's something that I feel like women, we've had to carry so much shame with being committed or with loving a person out loud or with choosing a man or believing a man. There's always been some form of punishment for it. And if you love out loud, you will be embarrassed out loud as well. That's just what it is. It's a 50-50% chance of it happening to you. And you could never say could never be me. And you could never confidently, I need a woman to actually tell me that, like, she will defend a man and she will never be embarrassed from defending one. But like I said, the humiliation that comes with, the switch up, the out of character behavior is what people hate the most. It's not necessarily women hating loving men out loud and, not wanting to have a partner that people know and everything. That's not what it is. It's really the embarrassment that comes with just dealing with the misbehavior from your person, which is very, like I said, it's very unfair that we have that burden to carry ourselves. But I'm just proud. There's a little bit of lightness to this. I feel like the fact that we are aware of what we're getting ourselves into kind of makes it easier to make rational decisions. I think, like, there are certain things that women back then had to put up with because they did not have the luxury to leave their partner. They did not have the option to go to work and pursue their careers. Like, they had to, they weren't emancipated. Some of them were just married and told to have kids, and that was it. They were never told the dream that they could be more than a person's husband, or more than a person's more than a person's wife, sorry. Then there's more to life than you being a wife and than you being a mom. You can have your own ambition and pursue your own dreams through emancipation, through education, through being career oriented, or just you fulfilling your dreams. I'm happy that at least in our generation, we've established the importance of autonomy, and how we've made securing the bag a priority. Like, I feel like our generation has just clocked that if you give someone the power to feed you, they have the power to starve you as well. So it's important to be able to have your own, to take agency of your own life and to have your own things, so that you are not put in predicaments or in situations where someone can actually take advantage of you or abuse you just because you are not empowered. Um, like, being empowered as a woman is something that's very freeing. And I think that's what makes the dating scene easier and more intentional, because you're not necessarily looking for someone to come and save you, because the reality is no one is coming to save you. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, no one is coming to save you. That fairy tale that we grew up being told when we were younger about Prince Charming, knight in shining armor coming to sweep you off your feet or rescue you from a tower. That story that Disney sold us is not true. It's absolutely not true. The whole concept of romance is, I believe that romance is dead. Our economy does not allow for people to be nonchalant, especially regarding like their lives. Like, you need to be with someone who is actively pursuing something and pursuing their, emancipation and their growth and stability, not just someone who's just a knight in shining armor and sweeps you off your feet. Like, no. Our economically, things are just a bit shaky right now for that. So, even for you as a woman, I think that you should just be ambitious so that you attract the right people and you're not, you know, meeting with people that are exploiting you, but rather people that are trying to pour into you because you yourself have something more to offer as well. And I think like a lot of men are not realizing the rate at which women are waking up and clocking that, wait a minute, I can do a lot of things for myself independent from a man's presence or not. Like, I can start my own business, I can take myself to school, I can do this. A lot of women are realizing that. And guys are being left behind. They may think that the patriarchal system is still going to hold a lot of water for them. But the rate at which a lot of women are taking over predominantly male fields and also positions of authority and power is happening. Women are becoming more and more intentional about their autonomy and their self-actualization. More, I from my observation, I feel like women are becoming more intentional, and men, because of the fact that the system, this patriarchal system, was set up for them, they have taken a back seat. They have, some have taken a back seat in terms of being responsible. Because if you think about it, how is it that a man will be a deadbeat father. You'll be okay with procreating with a woman, knocking her up, and then disappearing off of the planet of the earth and never seeing that child again. But the child always ends up being either successful, empowered, emancipated, regardless of the presence of the father. You can actually see that women know how to show up, and women, when the situation presents itself for them to stretch themselves, women do stretch themselves. So now imagine how a lot of women have shifted that energy or that perspective from, hey, instead of me being this poised, put together mom and wife, I am going to be investing in my career, in my resources, in my businesses, or whatever. That is a powerhouse that cannot be put to shame or defeated, honestly, because I think women inherently have it in them to hold things together and to build lasting impressions and lasting legacies, even with the kids that they end up raising. Whether there's a man in in their lives or not, women will still stand. I'm not saying that every woman is put together and poised. We'll do another episode on the women I dislike the most, e.g., pick me's. I will do an episode on that. But I'm just saying that a lot of men are not realizing the rate at which women are clocking out and working towards self actualization with or without their partners. And it's a new age and it's exciting. I think this is an exciting era to be a woman, because think about it, like 100 years ago, a lot of women's rights were not passed. So from women being able to drive to women being able to go to universities, go to schools, like a lot of these things were not readily available to women. And now that a lot of women are having access to these resources, men need to clock that it's not enough for you to just be, oh, I'm Mr. Nice Guy, or oh, I'm loyal or I'm introverted. It's not enough anymore. Women are looking to be aligned. Women are looking for partners that are helping them self actualizing. These are, like I said, progressive modern day women, exclusive from the pick me's. But these are women that are okay with doing life themselves. And I think for a very long time, society has been really trying to oppress that side of women, and because they know what we're capable of. And I think if you're not inspired to understand that there's more to life than to serve another person, I think that women are waking up to the fact that life is also about you as a woman, you pursuing your dreams independent from the influence of your family, your partner, or stuff like that. Women are now able to dream bigger, and the fantasy of, oh, Prince Charming, knight in shining armor, I'm the damsel in distress, that delusion is literally out the window. And like I said, the the fact that the delusion is out the window, women are awake, and you're going to have to step up your game, especially if you're a guy now, because a woman will have the things that you may be offering her, and she'll be asking you, what do you bring to the table? Because she'll be able to do the same things you do, but also be able to give birth and make a house a home raise kids, and also be your biggest cheerleader. So I think like that was my perspective from the meme that, loving a man is a humiliation ritual. There's just, like I said, there was just so many perspectives and so many layers to it that I feel like that sentence alone summed it up. But I'm opening the floor to you. What do you think? Do you think that men are falling behind? Do you think that women are doing too much? Or do you think that there is a possibility for women and men to coexist without um, extreme power imbalances that society has obviously created because of patriarchy? But what do you think? And should we still be secretive about who we're dating? I don't think people should be secretive about who they're dating. I'm an advocate for loving your partner out loud, and you'd rather be embarrassed than like be a secret. I feel like you and your partner must be posting each other, doing the most. Then, if you get the message that I'm coming to you as a woman, it's up to you to be delusional after that or not. But I think people shouldn't be secretive about who they're dating because, yeah, at least, if you post your partner and then he's seen out doing the most, or if he approaches one of the girlies will be like, no, isn't your girlfriend so and so, or isn't your wife so and so, but like, yeah, that's just what I think. It's better for you to be embarrassed, and then at least you make the decision to be delusional or not. um but that's it for today's episode. I just wanted to rant about a few random things that were heavy in my head. But thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you took a few nuggets with you. Please reach out to us. I'll put everything in the description box below. Follow us on Substack, on actually Let's Talk About It pod, and on Instagram as well. Facebook, you'll find us there, and TikTok as well. So we're really trying to promote visibility and access as well. And if you would like to join in as a guest or just chime in here and there with a few topics, we're very open in terms of communication. You can contact us on our website or send us a DM on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed this episode and thank you for your support. If you watched throughout till the end, thank you so much. Please share, please subscribe, please comment down below what you think, and stay tuned for the next episode. I'm your host, Ayanda, and have a good week ahead. Bye.